everyone. I hope you're doing well. We're entering week 4. I just wanted to reflect on what happened for week 3 and give you some insight into what you're going to be responsible for week 4. You're going to see that you have a few extra submissions that need to happen for week 4, but I'm going to go through them one at a time to make sure that you have everything you need. I am videoing in the middle of my home, so I apologize in advance if there is a visitor, a small child, or a dog barks, or a phone rings. So my apologies in advance if that happens. Hopefully not. So just looking back on week 3, you submitted your very first initial drafts for your paper. I traditionally don't take points off of that at all. The whole purpose is just to make sure that you've submitted something, you've started your writing process, and you're on the right path. If you were not on the right path, I individually told you so, but otherwise, it's a starting point. So as long as your paper was flowing in the right direction, it looked as though you have a plan of attack for the next couple of weeks. You got everyone I think got full credit for submission, but you probably saw minimal comments, just because I don't really think it's fair for me to rip apart a paper yet. This week, I will be going in, I'll be making the corrections for grammar, spelling, and ideas for organizing. If you find that after this paper there aren't a lot of comments, and it means that you're pretty much well on your way. Quite a few of you actually submitted papers that you constructed using your generative writing assignments, so your papers had actually already had almost a first rough draft to begin with, so you were ahead of the game. So that's what's going on with week 3. If you haven't submitted your paper yet, make sure you do so by tomorrow so that you can get some credit. Okay, looking into our assignments for this week, there are 3 that I really want to focus on. One is the quotation sampler. So the quotation sampler is, it's actually easier than it originally looks. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back into the readings that you've had. You are going to choose 3 specific quotes that stood out to you, and then you're just going to analyze them very quickly. So what you're going to do is you're essentially going to copy the quote, paste it into your document, and then answer questions 1, 2, and 3. What's being said, what's being implied, and what is your response? And the reason we do that is so that you can include those quotes inside of your own paper, but also allow you to brainstorm about what's going to be your reasoning and explanations behind them later on. So this is going to be essentially adding meat and details to your paper. So just 3 quotes, choose them, analyze them very quickly, and that should be pretty simple. The next piece is your revised draft. So that's just essentially as it sounds. Hopefully you add to your paper, maybe even attempt to put in one of the quotes that you have chosen from the sampler this week. You go in and add details, you organize your thoughts a little bit more, you start thinking about having a true introduction and a process. You just nitpick it. The way I like to describe writing papers is as though you have been given a block of ice and you have a toothpick and you just chip away as you try and make some type of art from it. You know, some days there's big chunks that come out and your structure looks good. Some days it's just little nitpicky pieces and you're just doing fine tuning. So just keep moving. Read your paper over. Have you actually read your paper out loud from top to bottom yet? Does it sound right? Can you locate your own misspelled words? Can you locate where you should maybe transform any single independent clauses and transform them into compound, complex sentences? So can you beautify your own paper just with one draft in? So I'll be looking at that. Oh, just as a also heads up, what I do is I take your first week draft and I put it next to your second, and let me clarify, I apologize. I take your first initial draft that you submitted last week and I put it next to your revised draft and I compare and contrast. I'm looking for attempt. I'm looking for growth. I'm looking for the effort that you're putting in to try and make your paper better. And also, some of you did do this, but put in questions and comments. You can type them right into the paper if you want to. You can finish a sentence and then go, does this sound right? Should I add more here? You can directly speak to me in your paper and delete those comments later for your next draft if you want me to really focus on particular pieces. Okay, the next one is your revised draft peer response. Okay, so this gets a little dicey, and the reason it gets a little dicey is because um, we technically want you to fulfill all the requirements of writing your paper, submitting your paper, and commenting on people's paper all by Saturday. So I will put this in um, a formal announcement just so it's typed in case you don't watch the video. But I'm going to ask that you kindly submit your paper to your peers in whatever state it is in Friday. I also am going to give you until Sunday to formally comment on your peers' work. So, just because you submitted your paper doesn't mean you've completed the requirements of your peer review submission. You must submit your paper and you must review someone else's. And I'm going to give you an extra day to review other people's. So your goal again is to submit your paper in whatever form it's in on Friday to that peer revision, and to submit no later than Sunday your peer review comments. I would I kindly ask that you don't just write, oh, it looked good, thanks. Try and be reflective. Try and give comments and corrections to every single paragraph. If I've worked hard on an essay and my peer says to me, oh, it looks good, and then my grade doesn't reflect that it looked good because the professor didn't see it the same way, I would be upset at my peer for not really reading and dissecting my paper. We can do it kindly, we can do it respectfully, but this is the time where you get to hand your work to somebody else and say, fix it. Or where should I add more detail? Or what should I change to make my description stronger? Rely on each other. We have a lot of strong writers in our class, and we have lots of confident people. So put those two items together and make sure you submit it the best you can. Okay, so in review, I guess, 1, a new draft for me. 2, a draft with you peer editing your classmates' work. I would aim for 1, maybe 2 if you can. You don't have to read every single paper. Try and find a paper that hasn't been reviewed or edited yet so that the person gets a fair shot. Also, with that 1 assignment, please submit your peer review papers by Friday if you can, and everyone will have until Sunday to enter their comments only for that 1 assignment. Again, I'll send a very detailed and informative announcement in addition to this to remind you. All right. Good luck. You're doing great. The papers I'm reading are excellent. Make sure you're trying to submit on time, and if you need any help, email me. I hopefully am getting back to you as quickly as you need me to. All right. Good luck.